for me, it was a pleasant day. It was a pleasant day. It's been a long week. I'm getting over a cold. My partner had COVID, so but he's on the mend. Not on the mend. He's mended. It was not a serious case, but it is Friday night here. We're live on Friday night from Huntington, and I'm kind of liking the vibe tonight. So, all right, let's begin welcoming Shabbat. We'll begin with the reading. Let's begin with the reading. How about page 6? Page 6 near the bottom, let's read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. All right, let's continue. Let's jump ahead to page 20. A song that comes to us from the holy city of Sfat, up in the north, in the Galil of Israel, where the Mekubalim, where the Kabbalists lived. And so this comes to us from that group of Kabbalists. We know it as Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamo v'zachor v'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, Me'rosh mikedem nehesucha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Mikdash melech ir melucha, Kumitzi mitoch afecha, Rav lahak shevet b'yemei chavacha, V'hu yachamol alaychem la, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Hitna ari me'afar kumi, Livshi bigdei tifartech ami, Al yad beishai veitalachmi, Korva el nafshi ge'ala, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Hitorari, Ki va'orek kumi uri, shir daberi, Kivod Adonai alayk nigla, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Lo tevoshi v'lo tikolni, Ma tishtochachi ma tehemi, Bach yechesu aniei ami, V'nifneta ya'altila, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, V'hayu l'shimsa shosaich, V'rahachaku kol mevalayich, Yasis alayich Elohayich, Ki himsos hatan al kala, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela, Yamin u'smol tifrotzi, V'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yadish ben partzi v'nihi smecha v'nagila lecha dodi likra kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela Vo'i v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'sohola toch emunei am segula Vo'i chala lecha dodi likra chala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Let's turn to page 22, some verses from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, and let's read the outdented paragraph together in English. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with the 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeh shetulim bebeit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yahafrichu o genuvun beseva deshenim vera'ananim yiyu lehagid ki ashar Adonai Suri velo avlatabo. Page 24 will welcome the two angels that come to spend Shabbat with us. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have welcomed the Shabbat, and the Shabbat bride is with us. We've put the week away, and now we have Shabbat. Page 146, I'll ask everyone please rise as we continue with the Arvit, the evening service for Shabbat with Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. May be seated. Let's continue page 147 and let's read together the three paragraphs in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish. But your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Page 148, the second blessing before Shema. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochtenu uvkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu, v'yorech yameinu, v'yorech yameinu, u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat dechal tasir mimenu li'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol meodecha, v'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, uvlektecha v'derech, uv'shoktecha uvkumecha, uvshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot vein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'hisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Eloechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 151, let's read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness is our greatest, and perfection equal man.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn God's presence redeems time and event. As we celebrate this power, thanks for freedom.
Top of 152. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder ba'kodesh, nohorati lo osefele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, vokeyam lifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. The second bracha after Shema Hashkivenu, the top two lines. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Now let's read together the English paragraph. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter and peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 154, some verses from the book of Shemot, from the book of Exodus. We know them as Vishamru, and it's not Shabbat without Vishamru. Page 154. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise. We are on page 155, the Amidah, the central prayer of the evening service. We'll chant 155, 156, and 157 together, and then we'll go silently as we finish the Amidah at that time. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Ba'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham,
V'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Eitim Atarav Lahoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayim Eitim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Giborot, Umidol Melach, Melech Mimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot neitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei ametim.
Always amazes me. I'm the fastest reader of Hebrew in the room, and yet everybody is always done before me. I'm also probably the fastest reader of English and German in the room, and yet everybody seems to be finished before me. I don't know. Molly, what do you think? No, I'm not blaming you. You're a guest. I'm thinking maybe you know something that I don't know. No, you don't? Okay. Well, I'm sure you know lots that I don't know, but
Professor in French.
well, I have a French siddur that you gave me. If you want, I'll bring it for you. Okay. Page 160, let's read together in English. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. A little bit of Thanksgiving on page 163. Let's read responsively at the top. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve your world with our hearts and our hands, we all praise.
For the joy in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life in nature, harmony and unity, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of day.
And we'll close out, as always, every Amidah, every major prayer in our tradition closes out with a prayer for peace. In the evenings, it's Shalom Rav. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol eit ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam. Praise are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. Okay, jump ahead to 253. The Mishaberach, found in the middle of 253. Mishaberach avoteinu mikor habracha leimotenu. Make the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. 258 and 259, the prayers of our congregation. Mr. President, how about the prayer for our congregation?
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. Mr. Greenstein, would you, one of the prayers for our country?
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in the darkness.
Thank you. Shalom Shalom Yerushalayim Yishlayu Hovayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Nick, the prayer for Medinat Yisrael.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחה גאולתנו, הגן עליך בעברת חסדיך, ופרוס עליה סוכות שלומך. ושלח אורך ועמיתך להכחישיה, צערה ויועציה, ותקנה ביצה טובה מפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ייושבך, ונאמר
Amen.
Amen. And Sandy, would you read the English of that, please?
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the drawing of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who read and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you all for reading. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shalom, good Shabbos.
All right, it is Parshat Vayetze this week, and it basically means "and he went out." Yeah, not a big booming word like Bereshit or Vayishlach or something like that, but it's the story of Yaakov. You remember Yaakov? He's the mama's boy from last week's Torah portion, as opposed to Esav, who was daddy's boy. But Yaakov sets out for Haran to escape the wrath and the anger of Esav. You know, last week Esav had the blessing stolen from him through some shenanigans between his mother and Jacob, and he was not happy with that. So Rivka decides that they're going to send him to Haran. The first night away from home, this is probably the first night in his entire life that he's away from home, and he has a dream. And believe it or not, this is not the first dream in the Torah. That happened to a king named Avimelech. And Yaakov has one of what will ultimately in his lifetime become many dark nights of the soul. He's never been away from home. He's never been on his own. And I often think that he had his little transistor radio with him, and they were playing Stairway to Heaven as he fell asleep, because he dreamt of a ladder, a sulam, kind of like an escalator going up to heaven and coming down. And there were angels going up and there were angels coming down. And at the top was God. And so God promises him in this dream that his descendants will be blessed, and they will in fact inherit the land that was promised to his father and to his grandfather. Of course, we're talking about the land of Canaan, the land that becomes Israel. He gets to Haran and he meets his great foil, right? Now, if you like karma stories, Jacob's story is a lot about karma. Right? He's kind of a conniver. He's kind of he hustles his brother a little bit, and he meets the great conniver. I would say this guy, Lavan, this is his uncle. If con man had a patron saint, that would be Jewish, not Jewish, but from our tradition, it would be Lavan. If Lavan shook your hand, you would count your fingers when you took your hand back. Right? He is not one of the nicest characters in the book. And he has two daughters. He has a daughter named Leah and a daughter named Rachel. And Yaakov immediately falls madly in love with Rachel. Anytime somebody falls madly in love with somebody without really having met the person, you know it's going to be a bumpy ride. So Lavan promises him Rachel, but Yaakov has to work for 7 years. You know he's in love with her. It doesn't mean he has to wait 7 years to marry her. He can marry her, but then he has to work 7 years to pay off whatever the bride price was. Well, if you thought last week's con game with dressing Isaac up dressing Jacob up as Esav and tricking their father, this one is one for the books. You see, Lavan isn't going to marry Rachel off first. he has an older daughter named Leah, and she needs to be married first. So the sisters, along with Laban, apparently, pull a switch on Jacob. Now, it's not until after the wedding night that he wakes up and he finds that it's not Rachel, but Leah. I just wonder what kind of party that was that he didn't recognize which bride he took home. And so he wakes up and he is kind of incensed that he was conned. And Laban says, don't worry. You can still marry Rachel. It's going to be another 7 years. So now he has to work 14 years for the woman that he has fallen madly in love with. But what Yaakov realizes is that while he was at home, he was able to get what he wanted through his wits. Now he has found his match. So in short order, lots of children are born. Leah, who is the one that is not loved, he does not love Leah. She has children left and right. She gives birth to Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zevulun, and a daughter named Dinah. Two of the concubines, two of the maidservants, Bilhah and Zilpah, give birth to children. From Rachel's maid Bilhah comes Dan and Naphtali. From Leah's handmaiden Zilpah comes Gad and Asher. So out of those three, Leah gives birth to 6 of the sons. The 2 maidservants give birth to 4 others. So now you're up to 10. And then Rachel gives birth to Yosef, and ultimately she'll give birth to Binyamin, rounding out the 12 sons. After working many years, I think the number's 20, upwards of 20, Yaakov wants to go back home. He feels that Esav his temper is cooled by now, and so he wants to go home. And he works out an agreement with Laban for his wages, and they're going to divide the herds. And so Yaakov is going to get these spotted, speckled goats and sheep, and Laban will get the solid colored ones. And Yaakov puts his herds under some trees, and so the sunlight shines through and kind of dapples them, and so they give birth to these dappled and speckled, spotted sheep. And Laban realizes that he was conned by Yaakov, and there's some bad feelings there. And so Yaakov is accused of cheating by Laban, and he and his family decide that they're going to sneak away at night and not say goodbye to Laban. Before they leave, Rachel steals or takes, some commentators say she takes them, she borrows them. If I hear the word borrow, it means you're going to return. She's not going to return to Laban. So she steals some of his little household idols that he had and puts them underneath the seat of her camel. Not that she wants to worship them, but it's close. This is what her dad did, and she wanted something from her father. And so they leave, and Laban discovers not only has Jacob and his daughters run away, but his household idols are missing. So he gives chase, and when he catches up to them, Laban says, "Look, I understand you're in a hurry to get home, but why did you have to ganef my idols? Why did you have to steal my idols?" Now, Yaakov, without stopping to think, says, "Nobody took your crummy idols. Why would we want your idols? As a matter of fact, I am so sure that no one of my entourage took your idol. Whoever has it, they should die." Well, of course, he doesn't know that Rachel has it or has them. And he sentences, literally, Rachel, the wife that he loves, to an early death. And she will die at the side of the road while giving birth to Benjamin, and she will be the only matriarch that is not buried at the cave at Machpelah. But ultimately, Lavan and Yaakov reconcile, and Yaakov goes on his way, heading back to mom and dad, and on the way he's going to have to meet with his brother. So that's where this week's Torah portion ends. There are no new mitzvot. That's nothing surprising in the book of Genesis. And this is your Torah portion in a nutshell. So this week, while I was recuperating from my cold, I heard all the talk about this upcoming ceasefire. Now, I got to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure that it was going to happen. History shows that when there are ceasefires in Israel, they don't last nearly as long as they should. And I'm not an optimist. And I have to admit, I went to some pretty dark places in my thinking because I thought, well, it'll start off and then we'll find out that all the hostages are dead. And Hamas was using this as a chance to rearm. I said, I'm not an optimist. Because ceasefires in general, regardless of the war, almost never work. But then today, I heard that there were some hostages released. 13 Israeli women and children. And this comes after 12 Thai hostages. And I had no idea that there were Thai hostages. I don't know if I missed that. I don't know if it wasn't reported. But there are people who are being released. Hostages are being released. And we know that they have made it to Egypt and that they are in the care of the Red Cross. So I was reviewing this week's Torah portion. And there's this verse that shows up. Actually, it's a half of a verse. Now, I am not one of those guys that looks at tea leaves. I don't read the horoscope. I don't have tarot cards. I don't put a lot of stock in signs, right? Things might be coincidental. But in this week's Torah portion, a man named Jacob, whose name will be changed next week to Yisrael, says, Tana et nashai ve'et yiladai. Give me my women and my children. It wasn't too long before I read that line that, in fact, women and children had been given back to Israel. Out of all the lines that show up in a Torah portion this week, Tana et nashai ve'et yiladai. Give me my women and my children. I have said in the past that the Torah, if we listen to it, will speak to us, but not on such a huge level right now. I'm not naive, right? I'm not saying that, this is a prophetic moment and no. But I do know that, as Shakespeare once said, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in my philosophy. Give me my women and my children. So right now I'm taking a little bit more heart than I did before I read that line and before I found out what was going on in Israel. there's a blessing that we recite every morning. And with all blessings, you sometimes put it on autopilot and you recite the blessing and you don't really pay attention to the Hebrew, if you understand the Hebrew, or you don't pay attention to the English. But there's one every morning that we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, creator of the universe, who sets the captives free. There are more things in heaven and earth that are dreamt of in all of my philosophy. That line speaks to me in ways that it had never spoken to me before. The Torah whispers in our ear, not even it's a whisper, it's a shout today. Israel says, give me my women and my children. And the hostages have started to be freed. Every bracha that we say is a form of gratitude. And right now, there is no better word, there is no better blessing than thanking God for setting our captives free. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. Everything all right? All right, a little time for Kiddush. A little Kiddush for Friday night. Okay, well, that's Shabbat morning. I need Friday night. Okay, what's here? There it is. Please rise. Vayir vayivoker yom hashishi. Vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam. Vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher hasa. Vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher hasa. Vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi. Vayikadesh oto kivo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asod. Savri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'shabbat kodshecha b'ava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekahadesh hashabbat. Nothing beats Kedem grape juice. Nothing. All right, please remain standing. Page 282. We'll begin closing out our Friday night service with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'ateit gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu k'goyei haratzon v'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim Umishkachavim umodim Lifnei melech Malchei hamlachim Akadosh Baruch Hu Shehu notei shamayim v'yoser haaretz
ומשה ביקרו בשמיים עמו, ושכינתו זו, לגבי מרומי. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. כך כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. May be seated. This week we observed the following yard sites: Miriam Greenstein, Murray's mother; Leon Howard Hart, Maury's great uncle; Vernon Katz, brother-in-law of Bernice Stern; Charles Levy, Bob's nephew, husband of Stella Reich Levy, father of Alan and Roger; Genesia Blanchard, relative of Valerie White; Simone Clapp, relative of Miranda Monroe; Karen Sue May Glick, David's wife, mother of Shelley; Howard Steinberg, Jack's father and Saley Hayflick's father; Mary Helene Stout, mother of Suzanne Hartz; Harold Strauss, Ida's husband, Beth's father; Georgiana J. Aschheim, Ethel Levine's adopted sister; Ann Benenson, Dennis Hamill's aunt; Jacob Levine, Milton's father; Isidore Rosenberg, Michael's father; Alvin Solo, relative of Jason; Harry Angel, husband of Doris, father of Candy and Charlotte; Walter E. Wilkins, relative of Al Wilkins; Isidore Bernstein, husband of Anna, related to Pauline's grandmother; Arthur Weisberg, Joan's husband, father of Pamela, Martha, Louis, Seth, and Charlie; Victor Winston, Belle's husband, father of Robert; Dewey Murphy Sr., Scott's grandfather; Maxine Schoenfeld Frank, relative of Walter Lewis; Peggy Lewis, Walter Jr.'s wife, Walt and Debbie's mother; Barbara Shaddles, Steve's mother. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabba, Ba'alma Divrach Kirute, V'amlik Malchute, B'chod U'biyom Echod, U'vchaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala B'zman Kariv, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba V'varach L'olam L'omei Maya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudusha, B'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, v'amiram v'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemayach, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom v'murmav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. You may be seated. All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
A couple of announcements before we close our service. Hoyt, you got some announcements?
Yes, I do.
You got some announcing to do?
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
So tomorrow, God willing, we will have a service tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will try to be here, but we have to take Lydia to the airport tomorrow. And her flight is at 8:57. So we all know how TSA works, right? You get to the airport and you got to wait 3 or 4 hours.
What airport?
Columbus, John Glenn. So, but tomorrow service at 10 a.m. And then Sunday we have service at 9 a.m. and then stay with the rabbi at 1 and 2. And then we go to the week. And this week we have our Yiddish choir at 7 p.m. Choir with the most, best choir from coast to coast. Then we're back here Friday. A couple of announcements. I'm working on the Jewish Cultural Festival. I'm going to be getting the permits this week. I hope to get a check for that this week. And I've got the approval forms and everything ready to go. And let's see, we'll have our congregation meeting, I believe, December 3rd. What time is that? Is that
5:30.
5:30. At 5:30. So be there. We'll have, I think we'll have some yummies there, hopefully. I'll talk to some people about that. But that's it. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving or whatever you chose to honor or celebrate this week.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Good to see you. All right.
All right. If you can make tomorrow's services, please do. Last week we had 8. We were perilously close to having to bring the Torah out and read it.
There's 2 more.
So yeah, if we had just 2 more, but might as well have needed 9 more as opposed to 2. It's the same outcome. But I was reading a lot of articles this week about there's a lot of finger pointing in the Jewish educational realm about how college students are woefully unprepared to talk about Israel on college campuses. And a former congressman of mine wrote her doctoral dissertation on Jewish education, and she pointed out, and it could have floored me, most American Jews over the age of 40 have a 7th grade Jewish education level. I don't know. I'm speechless too. But we're trying to rectify that. At least I'm trying to rectify that in my rabbinate. But it's an interesting world out there right now. So, but we have an oneg. It's sponsored by our friend Sandy in the back. And so if you're not here, it's too late. You can't have the oneg. So just more for us. And we have guests. So it's good that there are more people here because now our guests get to eat most of the cookies. And so, but I can only say that after services, because if I said it before services, it would just seem uncouth, and I'm always couth. And so, yeah, lots going on. It's a quiet week. Hanukkah's coming up, and congregational meetings coming up. All sorts of things are coming up. And so, just come, and we're open and we're here. All right, let's close out on 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'et nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra v'acharei kiklot hakol levahado yimloch nora v'hu aya v'hu oveh v'hu yeh b'tifara v'hu echad v'ein sheni להמשיל לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי V'eti shan v'yahira v'imruchi gviati Adonai li v'lo ira. All right, let's see who says good evening, good Shabbos to us through the intertubes. Oh, it's Grant David Tate from the sunny Florida. Shabbat Shalom. Stay safe, be healthy and well. Love and good Shabbos. Thank you, Grant David. Same to you. There's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbis Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. Hope all had a nice Thanksgiving. Bella from law school. Shabbat Shalom from Philly. Happy belated Thanksgiving, friends. Thank you, Bella. Same to you. And Donna Wilson. Shabbat Shalom to all. Thank you, Donna. Same to you. All right, friends, come and see us. We are here. I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos, and please, please be careful out there.
Good job, David.